Our country has always traded since the first Indigenous Australians were here. The people of Arnhem Land did business with Indonesia, and trade saved the early convict colony of New South Wales before the wool boom and the gold rush. We did close our economy for a while after Federation, but since the reform period of the 1980s and 90s, we've traded our way in the world, particularly with Asia. So let's go and meet one Aussie business with a strong focus on the international tourism sector. Thousands of tourists touch down in the Red Centre every year to see what Australia is really all about. And Brett and Kathy Graham are here to welcome them. So how did this passion for the outback start for you?
I think for me it started as a young child, having a yearning to come out to the outback. Took a long time to get here, but 20 years ago it happened. Yeah, came out here and fell in love with the outback and never went home.
So how did your business start?
It sort of came through an opportunity where there was an identified hole in the market between sort of just regular tours and the bigger groups. And there was a big demand for small group, private charter and customised touring, and no one was really filling that hole.
So welcome everybody, thank you for joining us today.
We had the opportunity to set up a business based around that model against advice from everyone else who said don't do it. We said we're going to, and 10 years later here we are.
So it's very much a family affair?
Absolutely. Myself and my wife and my two kids, we started the business 10 years ago from scratch. Everyone's been involved in it up to current. Our kids are still involved in the business, more on a management level and marketing level now. And myself and my wife are still running the business.
So what's the mix between international and domestic tourists?
We generally sit around the 70% international and around about 30% domestic on an average year.
So where are you seeing most of the overseas visitors come from?
Our two biggest feed-ins from the international sector are US and then England, followed very closely by the rest of Europe as a whole. So that makes up the vast majority of that 70%.
So I had the honour of meeting Sammy, one of the traditional owners. Can you tell us about the Indigenous cultural component of the tours?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, one of the big parts of Uluru is its Indigenous perspective. We've been privileged to be able to work with Sammy. We've known Sammy for 15 years, and we work together a lot with Sammy and his family. And it provides employment opportunities for him and his family and the community at large. But then it also provides that first-hand contact experience for guests coming from all over the world. And we work very much as a partnership, back to the old handshake agreement, and we all just get along and work together and get on with the job.
I love the desert. I'm from the desert, and it's a very important place for us.
Do you think the visitors that come, they want to see the rock, but they want to meet you? They want to learn from the people?
Yeah, that's why I love to do it too. I've never been to school, but I teach visitors in the world. They come, but I teach them.
Yeah.
But I learn myself.
Yeah.
And I want to say I'm my teacher.
So do you think that has positive benefits for the local Indigenous community?
Absolutely. It gives the younger people in there opportunities to form a career path that they may not have thought about. Tourism is on the doorstep, so there's lots of employment opportunities. And we have a lot of the Indigenous kids from all around the Central Australia come and do work experience with it and have a try. And we've been quite successful in the past with some of those choosing tourism as a career, even back in their own community. So I think it's all about opportunities, and if everyone can seek out opportunities there, then the doors are open.
So what are some of the challenges? Is business getting harder or easier than it was 20 years ago?
It's challenging. You know, remoteness and distance are our biggest challenges. Everything you need has to be shipped in, so to speak, including staff. So, yeah, those challenges of distance are a big thing to get your head around. But once you get your head around those and get processes in place, then it will flow. So that certainly is a big challenge. And then getting people who want to come out here and be passionate about the outback and showcase Australia to the world, and especially Uluru, trying to find those people can be a bit challenging sometimes.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit dry at the moment. You know, the water at the moment, the water levels are quite low.
In your own personal philosophy, what aspect of Australia do you want to show to the world?
For me, it's Central Australia, and it's not just Uluru. Uluru is the draw card. It's absolutely the tourism destination, but there's so much more out in Central Australia than just Uluru. And I think the Central Australian desert and landscape is, to a degree, very much untapped and untouched from a tourism point of view, and these unique experiences that are out there with communities and Indigenous people are just sitting there waiting to be had. And I think that's a fantastic opportunity for everyone, including tourists who want to do something outside of the normal.